Point blank, I don't support public funds for private schools. Public funds belong in schools that serve all kids.
I'd like to see this bill capped. Of course, I'd like to put in my kicker, no increase in the annual limit shall occur unless all public education funding obligation of the state is fully funded and dispersed.
If you were only grabbing one student here or one student there, you obviously wouldn't reduce the amount of cost that you had. So in some cases, the schools will have the same costs with less aid.
Any conversation about the weaknesses of public schools or private schools, or the strengths of public schools or private schools, or what a great time your kid had there and what a tough time your kid had at the other one, it doesn't matter. It has no bearing on the morality of LB 753. We cannot give public funds to private institutions. Subpoint, private institutions that are allowed to legally discriminate.
So one of the things I'd like to see is which kids are number of kids being denied by the school itself. They get a scholarship, school won't take them. And maybe what the reason is for that denial.
One of the conversations we have a lot with regards to 753, and that's this notion of bullying. The bill specifically contemplates somebody who is being bullied or is experiencing bullying as somebody who can be considered as a recipient of these funds, and that's a thing that we look at. I have trouble believing that the bullying that exists in a public school setting simply doesn't exist in a private school setting. We should be doing things to fix a lot of our overarching issues as it pertains to bullying. We should be providing early mental health care for juveniles and youth to make sure they can deal with some of the issues that lead to them being bullies and being bullied, and the PTSD that can come out of that depending on what you're dealing with.
I just want to reiterate and reaffirm that Nebraska has one of the best public education systems in the country. I think it is a point of generational pride. You can see that by test scores, which are consistently at the top of those lists that we want to be at the top of those lists on. And that's despite the fact that we're at the bottom of some of those lists that we don't want to be at the bottom of when it comes to teacher pay or the level of state funding for our school system.
Fundamentally, my problem is that this is government funds in some way, either foregone, diverted, appropriated, being used for funding schools that can refuse to take these kids for whatever reason. So I don't know. I mean,
1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. President.